Hello and welcome to APA Style 1 Formatting. This is a workshop for you lovely people who may not be able to make it to one of my in-person workshops on APA Style. Now, one of the first questions I usually get is, what is APA Style and why do I care? Well, APA Style is one of any number of citation styles. The two we use here at the college are APA and MLA. APA stands for the American Psychological Association, and as you can see over here, this is the lovely book it is based on. Basically, every discipline, means every academic area, gets together and agrees what unified citation and formatting style they're going to follow. APA originated with, as you can see, the Psychological Association, but it's also used by nursing, business, sociology, and of course, psychology here on our campus. Now, what we're going to do in this one is we're going to go over just the basics of formatting. But in the workshop as a whole, these are what I'm hoping you're going to take away. I want you to understand and apply the APA style formatting basics, including headings, numbers, and tables. I want you to be able to compose an APA style in-text citation for a variety of source types. And I want you to be able to correctly format an APA style references page. Now, we're just going to start with the very first bullet in this. This is all about formatting your paper. So formatting varies by what your instructor says. Basically, if your instructor says that they want something different than what I tell you, you always go with what your instructor says. But what the APA manual suggests is 12-point Times New Roman font and double-spaced text. And we're going to go over how exactly to do that, but those are the basics. Now, it's very important that you're setting your spacing and font in the Home toolbar in Word. If you use a different word processing program than Word, you're going to have to figure out how to do that in that word processing program. But make sure you're not manually hitting Enter after each line to double space. Those of us who maybe learned how to type on a typewriter, hi guys, do that sort of by instinct, but now computers make it much, much easier. Now, one of the biggest stumbling blocks is the running head, and I'm going to talk about the running head in context of the title page. The title page should contain the title of your paper, your name, since you're the author, and the institutional affiliation. Now, institutional affiliation just means the college which you either work at or attend. So for us, that will be South Florida State College. Your title page will also include the page header, flush with the left margin, and the page number flush right at the top of the page. And I'll show you how to get that set up. Now, on the very first page, it will actually say running head, colon, and then in all capital letters, title of your paper. Every page after the first will just say, in all capital letters, title of your paper. You'll notice the words running head actually disappear. The reasons for this are somewhat obscure. It has to do with magazine publishing, but this is the format that APA requires, so we do it. Pardon me. Alright, so this is a page that shows you a sample running head from Purdue OWL's, that's the online writing lab, sample paper. You can see here, this is our running head, and it literally says the words running head, colon, the title all in capital letters, and the page number right here flush to the right hand margin. It has the title of our paper, the name of the person who has written the paper, and the institutional affiliation. Now, we're going to practice now. I'm going to go through and I want you to follow along with me. The steps in the APA handout on page 1. That APA handout will be posted right alongside or below this video where you're watching it. You can open it up and print it out. You can open it up and just view it on your computer, or you can drop by the library and we're happy to give you a print copy of this handout. When you're done, I really recommend saving the document to the desktop or to your flash drive using the Save As function. This means you never have to set up your running head again. You can just open up your APA template and change the pieces you need to change. Start typing your paper. I think it's brilliant. Now I'm going to come back to headings. I need to get out of my PowerPoint and into Word. So here is my document formatting handout. So you can see it here, and I'm going to open up File, New Document. I want a brand new blank document. Alright, the first thing we have to do is set our font. You'll notice it defaults to Calibri, which is a terrible font in my opinion. We want Times New Roman. If it's not in your recently used fonts, you may have to scroll all the way down to the T's to find Times New Roman. Then we can set our size right here to 12. Now to set spacing, we're looking right here. If you hover over it, it will say line and paragraph spacing. And if you click the drop-down menu, you want 2.0, meaning 2 spaces between each line, which equals double spaced. Alright, so we've now set the font for the paper as a whole. Delightful. Now we need to open up our header. To open up our header, we're going to double click right here. It's at the very top of the page in that 1-inch margin. Now, this has opened up the Header and Footer Tools design page. You'll notice that the menu is totally different. It's all the way over here. This allows us to do a bunch of different things. The first thing we need to do on this menu is click Different First Page. This is what allows us to put Running Head on the first page and not have the words Running Head on our second page. Now, we need to insert our page number. So over here with the little page number button, we're going to go to top of page, plain number 3, because that gets our page number all the way on the right-hand side. Now, I need to get my running head in here. So I'm going to go ahead and type it in. I can't type today. Running head, colon, and then I'm going to turn on my caps lock and say title of my paper. Now I'm going to change that in my real paper, of course, but this is just my template. Then you want to hit the tab button 2 times. Now you may notice that we have a tiny problem. This is not in Times New Roman. You have to set each header separately from the main part of your paper, which I think is a pain in the butt, but we got to live with it. So I'm going to highlight it all and go back to my home menu, change it out of Calibri into Times New Roman, 12 point, and we're good to go. Now to get back into my main title page, I just click here in the middle of the paper. Easy enough. The header is now grayed out and it's ready to go. So let's change to a center orientation and hit enter until we get to about the middle of the page. There's no exact measurement or anything, just kind of eyeball it. And then we're going to type title of my paper. Notice it's not all in capital letters. We're going to follow the APA rules for capitalization, which I will go over in more detail in another section. But for right now, what you need to know is that the first word is always capitalized and the first word after a colon. Now, if you use a subtitle, and many papers do, you'll do colon and then subtitle if I have one. Notice that those are the only things I capitalize. The other things you would capitalize were acronyms, abbreviations, and proper names. If you don't have one of those things, you don't capitalize it. Now, I need my author's name, and that in case it's me, Claire A. Miller. Alright, now I'm going to hit enter one more time, and I'm going to type my institutional affiliation, which as you may recall is South Florida State College. Now, hopefully you've been following along and you are at the exact same point in your sample paper. Now, if you wanted to, you could include the date after South Florida State College on a separate line, but it's not actually required in APA style. This is up to you and your instructor. So now we need to format the header on the second page of the paper. And to do that, I need to hit enter until I hit page number 2. So I'm going to open up my header again by clicking at the very top of the page, a double click. That opens up my header toolbar again, and I'm going to follow the exact same steps. Page number, top of page, plain number 3, and you'll notice it now says 2. That's exactly what I wanted. Now I'm going to need to type my running head again, but I only want the title of, gotta get my caps lock on here, title of my paper. And I'll hit tab 2 times, just the way we did before. Now, what do you notice, guys? Yes, the font has changed back to Calibre again. I know, it's so frustrating. Just highlight the whole thing, go back to the home bar, change it to Times New Roman, 12-point font, and now it's set and you never have to worry about it again, right? Every page for the rest of your paper will automatically be numbered right here. You see how page 2 is automatically numbered as page 2. And the header's all set up perfectly. Now, what we can do now is save this sucker. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save it on my computer desktop because I like things on my desktop sometimes. I'm going to save this as APA style template. Oh, hey, look, I may have done this before. And I'm going to click Save. Now, every time I need to write an APA style paper, I just open up the template, change the title of my paper so it's actually whatever my new title is, change the title of my paper here on the title page, and change the title here. That's 3 things to change, but other than that, absolutely all of your formatting is set up for you. Isn't that cool? I like it. Now, there's a bunch more detail here in this APA style documenting formatting handout, which you should have a copy of. But in the meantime, let's pop back to this. This is headings. Headings don't come up super frequently, at least here at our college, but sometimes you're asked to use them. Don't memorize them. Don't worry about them too much, but I want to show you that they exist. Now, here this is an example of levels of heading. In other words, this method is a level 1 heading. Think of these like the Roman numerals in an outline, right? Results is a big category. Within results, you have spatial ability and kinesthetic ability. Those are like your A, B, C. And then they talk about little sections below that, which is level 3, which is like your 1, 2, 3. Now, these keep going, but I've never had to go past a level 3. So, the only thing I need you to know about headings is that they exist and that there's a little chart that tells you exactly how to format your headings. All you need to do is follow them if you need headings. Now, we'll be back with another video on avoiding plagiarism, but that's it. You've got a basic APA template all set up and ready to go. See you soon.